Bait and tackle, aka quality reseller. That's another eBay tip for you. That's actually a new series I'm calling, which is lunch notes. And as you know, I watch many other sellers on YouTube, and been doing this for a while, and I've watched a lot of YouTubers over the years and a lot of other resellers, and gained a lot of information and learned a lot of things. And this is what my 2 cents worth, my lunch hour 2 cents worth is. Either those you starting out, you've been doing it for a while, you've been doing it for a long time, is watch videos, watch other people's, break down what they do, how they run their stores, how they generate sales, what they're selling, and adapt your store for you. Each store is unique. Each selling is unique. There's no cookie cutter to this. All right. And I just watched Reseller Life, and he just had a show called "It's Time to Quit eBay," the Great Reseller Life, and try to pick up things that I can use. And since I've started doing this on YouTube and sharing my knowledge that I've gleaned over 6 years of reselling, is I wanted to respond, give you my 2 cents worth on other people's podcast. Now, as a disclaimer, in no way am I putting down James. I'm not putting down his store. I'm not saying he's the greatest, he's the worst, or nothing. Is this not what this is about? When I watch Daily Refinement or Chris Lynn Daily Refinement, Rally Roots, Tech and Sports, Commonwealth Flipper, so many of them other people that I watch, I'm not here to discredit them or put them down in any way. It's just my 2 cents worth, my interpretation of videos that they put out. All right, so one thing I noticed is James he started a second store, and I see why he's doing this. It's kind of an experimentation, because he's got a big core store that makes his living, so he has this time and wherewithal to kind of experiment around. And I learned over time, now it's okay to do that if you're an established seller and you have an established store. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem I see is maybe some of you newer sellers, either ones that are just beginning or just starting out, or you're in the early stages of your reselling career, is if you have multiple stores, and I'm speaking this from my experience, because when I first started out, I started out selling on eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, and Amazon. So my time was being divided between 4 different places, 4 platforms. And I gleaned some information from an early video on Daily Refinement, Chris Lynn, and he's put a point out there that stuck with me. It's like when you're starting out and you're trying to develop and build your store, if you're spreading your time between 3 and 4 different places, you're not given full time to any one platform. You're doing every single one of them part time. And after he said that, I sat down and I had a little epiphany. And I like to put thought to things. When somebody gives an opinion that clicks in my mind, I want to sit down, put rational thought to it, see if it works for me, it doesn't work for me, can I use bits of it or not use bits of it. And that stuck with me. And at that time, that's when I decided, okay, I'm not selling on these other platforms, because I couldn't devote full time to every single one of them. There wasn't enough hours in the day. So I had to decide on which platform I wanted to use. Poshmark was not for me. It may be for you, but it wasn't for me, because I didn't have the time or the want to deal with the social side of it. And that's more of a social site. It is a selling site, but it takes more social input and stuff. And that wasn't what I was looking for. Amazon was too cutthroat. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the people I was selling against. There were some downright dirty tactics by other sellers directed toward new sellers. So I'm not going to go in detail on that. And then Etsy was more of a niche market, more of crafts and stuff. So, and then there was eBay. Well, by far, I found, for me, eBay was the most pleasurable experience. That's the one I enjoyed. So I decided, all right, I'm going to close these other 3 down, and I slowly pulled inventory from them, moved them to eBay, and did eBay, and learned that platform. And that's what Chris Lynn said. He goes, you need to take time to learn that platform. And James has been doing this long enough. He's got a big giant store. He's got almost 60,000 items. I think he had 58,000 when I looked today, right at 57.7. And so this man, he's been doing it for a long time, and I'm not here to critique his store or anything like that. That's not it. Mine's just a rebuttal on his my 2 cents worth on his last video. And I noticed that he started a second store, and I went and I looked at his second store and I see what he did. And I had done this at the early stage of my career where when I settled on eBay, I opened 3 eBay stores. I had my used clothing store, I had a new item store, and then I had another store that was just pants and shoes. So I basically had a clothing store that was shirts and jackets, and one that was one was basically top end, one was bottom end, and then one was new goods. At that time, I found that by spreading my time out between 3 different stores, I wasn't being able to focus on any one store. And it's because I had to divide my attention between 3 different stores. Granted, it was the same platform, but I still had to divide my attention. And that became a distraction. So here I am, I tore it all down again. Not my primary eBay store, but I tore down the other ones and moved all that product little by little over. I would do sell similars and listings, and it took my girlfriend and I months to accomplish this. But in the end run, though, my store blossomed because I had one big store, and we got up to almost 12,000 items in our store, and it was so much easier my focus was on one store, and that was it. It didn't matter what I bought or what I was selling. It went on one platform, one store, one customers. I didn't have to open up 3 pages, 3 websites, and it was just so much difference. I mean, so much easier and less complicated. And I didn't have to split my attention between 3 different stores. So I guess my advice to you is that learn the platform that you decide to sell on, whatever it is, whether it's eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, whatnot, all these other dozens of platforms that are out there, whichever one you choose for you, selling your niche of clothing or shoes or new goods or whatever you're selling, develop your knowledge for that platform, that store, what you sell, your niche. And that's the thing. There's us resellers that are sharing information with y'all, the new sellers and some of the established sellers and things. It isn't to tell you this is the way, sell this, sell that. That's not my purpose here. My purpose is to make you a better seller by using this information and that I'm sharing with you, and the information that other YouTubers share with you. And that's what you need to do is, as a seller, is watch a myriad of shows, a myriad of hosts, get a myriad of ideas, and then take each one of those ideas that you get and break it down and apply the parts of it that's good for your store. There's no cookie cutter. There is no cookie cutter. You have to develop your platform, your niche, your selling style for you. So that's I guess that's the premise of this lunchtime, my 2 cents worth. And like I say, I'm in no way am I trying to put James down. You know, he's got a big giant store. Now I do notice that he sells a lot of. I see his store is filled with a lot of CDs and tapes, and because he seems to me like he's a music file, right? He likes music, and that's great because that's his niche. He knows that stuff, but it's also a low selling, a low sell through rate item. Now, there are people that make money off that, and they have great stores off that, but it's got to be your niche, and you need to. Let's see how I put this. Develop the store with your knowledge that suits you. Take this information from everybody else. Don't overthink things. Learn the basics. Learn the platform. Learn what you sell. Whatever you choose to sell. Whether you could sell CDs and be a top-rated national CD seller and make a great living off of it. And I'm not saying you can't do that on a low sell-through rate item. But you have to know that niche and know which items to pick and put the right items in your store that's going to sell, because you want a sell-through rate. You don't want stuff that's been in your store 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. That's not going to do it. I will go back through every so often, and I will take my oldest inventory and I'll put it on a 50% off sale, and I sell what's been sold. What doesn't sell or I don't think is going to sell, I just pull it from my store and donate it, because it's eating up a listing space in my store. It's granted, I get 10. Have a big store and I'm allowed 10,000 free listings, but I'm over 10,000, and so I get charged 10 cents a month at the end of each last 2-3 days each month for listings, and that's 10,000 sold and listed. So, I get hit with, no, I don't know, it's under $100 a month, but still I'm hit with those. So learn your niche, have your sell-through rate down, get rid of the old stuff in your store, whether you put it on sale, pull it out and have a garage sale. Sometimes you can pull your old inventory out, put it out in your front yard with a sign, and it'll fly out of there. Because here's the thing, by the time you've got an item that's been in your store for 2 years, you have no cost left in it. You've already paid for that item, and now it's just eating up space. So find a way to get rid of it, whether donate it, sell it on a different platform, sell it on a different venue or whatever. You just pull that old inventory out, and that's just something I wanted to share with you. And like I say, I'm not putting James down or any other seller. That's not the purpose of my 2 cents worth, my lunch hour 2 cents worth that I'm sharing with y'all. I'm just sharing little bits of information that I get, and I try to expand on some of their thoughts and ideas and pass this on to you other sellers, so that hopefully you can get the little bits and pieces from my thoughts that apply to you, and watch these other sellers get bits and pieces from their thoughts that apply to you, and build your own store, your own brand, your own niche, your own selling platform, and your own living, where you don't have to work for the man. You can work for yourself and be self-employed and happy, have more time for your family, have more time for friends and fun. So, all right, well, this is me signing out for today. Good luck selling on eBay or whatever platform you're selling on, and I'll have another video coming out soon.